Okay, hey, I got some time to kill, and I thought that since evidently the frame guide tutorial that I did um, yesterday or the day before, uh, everybody seemed to find a lot of good things with that in terms of help. And in an effort to give you other options in addition to the Tyler Beck tutorial, which, like I said, is still very good. Um, I thought I'd do a tutorial on the door bearing. Okay, so so let's get going. So first thing I'm going to do, because it's good practice, is I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it door bearing. There we go. That is good practice because it institutes or initializes the automatic save feature of Fusion. So how am I going to get this done? Well, I'm going to draw the base first, and I'm going to extrude it along this axis, right? Because I get that little cutout in there. Then I can deal with the top part, and then maybe I'll deal with the slot, the slotted hole in there. So basically three kind of stages, and then I'll put on the fillets and rounds. So let's go. All right. So first sketch, let's sketch it this way. Um, and we are going to use a new, again, I don't know whether Tyler Beck did this in his analysis, but I like the idea of giving you a couple different ways to do this, so you can choose which way makes best sense to you, and you can see alternatives. So I'm going to use the center rectangle, and I'm going to choose the center right here, and I'm going to stretch out a rectangle there. One of the nice things about that, first of all, it's a rectangle, so I don't need to, it's all automatically constrained like a rectangle would be geometrically. And it's also located right in the center right there, so it's automatically fixed around that origin point, which is good. And then let's get this sized in there. So, oh, you know what? This is an inch drawing, so I am going to come in here to my units, and I'm going to change this to inches. I should have done that beforehand. I'm sure Tyler did that because he's not a slouch like I am. All right, so that's good. We switched that up. No biggie. No biggie now. If we did it later, it might be a biggie. So I want to get the width across here. Whoops. I seem to have misplaced that dimension. Let's try that again. Go to width and pick here and pick here. And then this should be 3.12. And the thickness of this is 1 minus 0.12. Okay, so if you see that, it's 1 minus 0.12. 1 minus 0.12. See how I typed that in there? That's just a little way to avoid making a math error. If you're in the habit of doing math in your head, that's not good. So now we can put, I'm going to use another rectangle, and I'm going to put the rectangle in right there. Right? Lines over top of other lines are not a problem with Fusion because they'll just get blown away when we extrude it. So now let's get the width of this, and that is 0.75, and we'll get the location, which is from here to here, is 0.38, and then the height from here to here. Whoops, it's the wrong line. Sometimes it's hard to get these lines, to pick the right lines. 0.26. Okay, and we finish our sketch, right? So that's done. And now we want to extrude it. And I'm going to notice that I'm omitting that notch because I don't want to extrude it. What do I want to extrude it forward or backwards? It really doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm going to extrude it 3.76. Oops. 3.76. I'm making a new body, right? And in fact, the body, the single body of this, and we go okay, and everything's all good. Okay. Was that sketch fully constrained? Yeah, it was. Okay, so everything's good. Now let's deal with the top part. Okay, so this is a little bit more challenging, and it kind of depends on how much you want to draw in one sketch. I've heard different philosophies where you don't want to put a lot into a sketch. You want to make a series of sketches. And that kind of makes sense from the point of view of if you need to go back and edit a sketch, it's easier if the sketches are modular or segmented. So you have 4 or 5 sketches that you can go in and each one controls different facets or different aspects of a model. Other people say, make the sketch with as much as you can in it. So either way, I think it depends on the actual part that you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch on this back surface here. Okay. But because I don't want to get disoriented, I'm not going to sketch from the back surface. So I'm going to go all the way around and sketch on this surface. Why am I doing that? Well, because this, I can view, the figure is shown from this perspective. So I don't want to have to reverse dimensions and remember all that junk. So, all right, so let's do a rectangle again. And we can go like this and kind of get it up there. And we want to use project. Let's project this surface in there so that we can pick up that geometry. Okay. I'm not sure whether we needed that, strictly speaking, but sometimes it's good to just project just in case you need it. Better safe than sorry. And this is 3.26, and the width here is 2.76, and this distance from here to here is 0.5, and it's all constrained. I'm not done with it yet, though. Obviously I want to get some more geometry, and really the only thing left is I'm going to put a line in there to identify that inclined surface. And where are the dimensions for that? Okay, so the dimensions are from here to this point is 1, and from here to here basically is 45 degrees. Okay. All right, so that's good. We can finish that. It's all constrained, right? And if we look at our sketch, it's all constrained, so we can finish that sketch. And now I want to project it forward or extrude it forward. 1.62. Notice I'm going in the negative direction, so I want to make sure I do minus 1.62. And of course I'm joining, so we go OK, and then there we go. All right, so far so good. So let's deal with the front, that inclined surface, and then the notch. We can do that in one fell swoop. So let's sketch, and I'm going to sketch on this surface right here. I could sketch here, but I'll sketch here. It doesn't really matter, but I'll do it there. And let's project, because I know I want to get this top surface, so I'm going to project there. What does that do? It projects these edges onto the sketch plane so that I can use them when I'm constraining. Okay, whoops, not that one. Let's go back over here. Rectangle. Yeah, I'm using a lot of rectangles right now. It seems to make sense. All right, and then a line. And let's get that line going from here to here. Notice when I did that, you know what, let me back up a second because I was going a little bit fast. I want to make sure that you see, when I go here, I want to make sure, see how my mouse, my cursor, whatever you want to call it, is kind of attached to that top projection, right? I want to make sure that it is attached to that top projection because that will constrain it. So, and same thing, boom, right there. I get that And so that adds a constraint to it, one less that I have to do. Okay, so now we got to dimension this. So let's dimension it from here to here is 0.38. And from here to here is 0.38. And ditto from here to this point is 0.38. This distance from this bottom edge to this point is 1.62, and oops, everything's black except for that bottom line, so I'm going to get the depth of that notch, which is 0.5. Hey, everything's good. It's all black, right? So we finish our sketch. We go like this, and now we want to extrude it, so we're going to do this and this and this together. Don't forget to get this little bit right here, and we can go all the way through. You know how I like to say the distance is to object, and we go to this back surface, and then we want to cut it, so we say okay, and then let's look and see what we've made. Hey, that looks pretty good. All right. We got one thing over here that we want to do. Let's do another sketch on this surface right here. And we'll do a rectangle right here. Okay. And we're going to dimension from this surface to this surface right here, and that should be 1.88. And we want from here to here is 0.12. All good. Finish the sketch, and let's extrude that through. And we want to go again, cut it. There we go. Okay. So far so good. And it looks like last but not least, well, at least last before we get to the fillets and rounds, is this notch. All right, so there is a great command. I'm sure that Tyler went through this because it's a really good command or construction technique, and that is the slot. All right, we'll use the center to center slot, and we're just going to, this is the great thing about Fusion. I said this before. Just put that sucker in wherever you want to put it in. Okay? Because we'll constrain it and get it located correctly. So let's see. So this distance from here to here is 1. And it looks like from here to here is 0.76, and it looks like the diameter or radius is the diameter is 0.5 to 498, so the radius would be half of that, 0.25. And I don't know why that one's still blue. So I'm going to say I want this to be equal with that. And it didn't like that. It said, hey, that's already done. So what's up with that? Oh, I know what it is. Hello. Duh. I didn't give a width right there. That was a no-brainer. 1.76. All right, we're all good to go. Now, before I do this again, this is a good example of how you can reuse a sketch. I'll show you how to do this. There's a boss pad. So this is the slot, the hole going through, but there's a boss pad or a raised surface. So I'm going to use the offset, and I'm going to offset this shape out like that, and I'm going to offset it 0.25. 0.25. There we go. All right, and notice it's automatically fully constrained because my original sketch was fully constrained. So that's all good. We'll finish that sketch. Let's go here, and I'll show you how we're going to reuse the sketch. So first of all, let's extrude the hole. So we grab this, and we're going to go straight down, and we're going to go, the distance is going to be, hey, that's a cake song. Let's go to the distance. There we go. All right, but look at that. But it took away the bit that I wanted to extrude up for the boss pad. Well, no worries. We just go to that sketch and we reactivate it. Or excuse me, we don't have to reactivate it. What am I doing? We just have to turn it on. Right? Hey, there it is. So now we can go and we can select the outer part there and go up. What is that? 0.12. And then we turn that sketch back off again. Okay, so we just reuse the sketch, right? Okay, so now, truly last but not least, we got to fillet all this stuff in here. The fillets are 0.12, so let's just go around here. Fillet, I'm going to grab this surface right here, 0.12. And there's some filleting where if you do it properly, it will make the filleting a little bit easier. I'm going to sketch the, I'm going to fillet the underside here, 0.12, right? And then I'm going to do this bit. Now you see, because I did that underside first, it grabs that hook. Right, so that's good. And I want to do the opposite side as well, 0.12. And in fact, you know, you could do the whole thing, but I think this is better. Now, because I did these corners, now watch, when I go back here, it will grab the whole string, what we call a chain, around there, 0.12. Is it going to do it? Yeah, it did it. All right, so let's see. I don't think we're missing anything. And there we go. So let's look at it. Yep, looks peachy. Like I said, I don't think I'm missing anything. I'm sure somebody will tell me if I forgot something. But that is it. All right, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'll put this on YouTube and drop it into the Canvas module. All right, have a good night.